so many plates you got to spin at the same time.
Yeah, and all on the go, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
It's it is, once you kind of get it into your head roughly what you're doing, it's all right.
Yeah.
You know, you've been doing it for a while, you figure that shit out. But when you're starting, it is very, very intimidating. Especially in these like action, low light environments.
Yeah.
You know, they're always teaching you, you know, you should do this, and you should always try and have the lowest ISO possible and all the stuff.
In theory.
Yeah. And it's just, when you control the light, beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Just as we were doing it today,
right.
You know, I was shooting, you know, 2 lights up here, one light your face separate, light the background, and then another little one, kind of like bringing up some chair light. And then I'm sitting pretty, you know, 100 ISO, I've got a nice depth of field, all this lovely stuff, and then...
It's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Studio is easy. Kind of. Once you understand it.
Yeah, right. Wow.
But then when you're doing action and stuff, you don't get to choose when stuff happens. You can't say, "Oh, can you do that? Like, almost punch that guy in the face again for me?" Yeah, sweet. All right, cool. Now, all right, sweet. Thank you. You can't do that.
No, unless it was a Hollywood set, you know, and action
and
you know?
go.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Nah.
It's in real life. So tell me this, because I'm a big fan of your work.
Thank you.
You know, like when you've tagged me in your like highlight dumps, you know, of like an event, because I assume you take hundreds, if not thousands, of photos sometimes.
I'll be happy at an event to get like a 10% keeper rate.
Yo.
And I've still got, you know, I'll depending on how long the event is, I'll still come up with 200.
Wow.
That's like things that I consider usable.
Right.
And then there's more cutting from that point onwards, but depending on the length of time, you know, I can shoot anywhere between, you know, 800 to 1,000.
Whoa.
I shot an event the other week. It was a state championship of lead climbing. So I'm also in the rock climbing world as well.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
So I was doing their event there, and that was 2-day event, roughly 8 hours a day. And I shot, so in total, the keeper rates that I got, that I provided to the client afterwards was, for the 2 days, it was about 700 images.
Wow.
Reason I do that much for that kind of thing is because there's a lot of youths. And they all, you know, they want to get photos of them climbing.
Right.
To me, it would be the same shot constantly. But to that kid, you know, like, oh, I look so cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to them that shot looks exactly the same as like 10 of their friends.
Yeah.
They don't care. They just want to look cool.
Exactly.
And the adults want that too.
Dude, that's like a supply and demand kind of thing in that instance.
Yeah.
Has I mean, you know, clearly you go back the decades, this stuff's more professional, it's more exclusive, it's higher priced, right? Do you think there was such a supply and demand mode like that? Because it's almost like those, let's say, of those 700 photos you gave to the client that they paid for, like a lot of it's probably fodder, yeah? Like it's throwaway, right? But in this instance, it's like, those youths or those participants, they want to get as many shots of themselves in a professional sense. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know if that was always the case? Like a dude dropping, oh yeah, I've got 700 prints for you. Yeah. You know, like from film, you know, as an example.
Yeah. So it's prevalence, social media, especially, you know, digital age. Yeah. Photos are a dime a dozen. There's so much content being dropped on every forum, every website, every app, some ridiculous amount. It's all flooded. So that is the kind of content people were wanting before was less digital. I'm going to share this with everyone I know. Right. But there's also that, you know, you go to the local cricket game or something, you know, the kids are playing, doing whatever they're doing. And you'd go and you'd sell prints of the kids to their parents. Right. So you wouldn't be dumping 700 to a client saying, like, the organizer of the event, because they don't care. Yeah. But the parents care.
Yes.
So you just find a way to get to the parents.
Right.
Because the parents are the ones that want, they'll want their prints of their kid doing that really cool thing individually.
Yeah.
They don't care about the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
But they want that one photo of their kid doing something really cool, put it up on the mantelpiece.
I was about to use that word. Put it up on the mantelpiece, man.
Stick it on the fridge, something like that. It's going to be there for the family.
Right.
It is changing nowadays because everyone kind of lives their life vicariously on Instagram and Facebook and all this kind of stuff.
So bad, isn't it?
Yeah. I love printed images.
Yeah.
They just have a completely different feel to the stuff you see on your phone. I heard someone say that's like on a phone, you kind of expect to see a moving image. On a screen or a phone or something like that. You don't expect a photo printed out on a piece of paper put in a frame to move.
Exactly.
So you've got that expectation of like, oh, this is it. I can just enjoy this for what it is. I can look at all the details. I don't have to scroll and worry about what's coming next.
Right. There's no other distractions. No. It's fully capped at a still.
This is this.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So tell me then, imagine you're one of those parents and you're like, wow, look at this photo of young Rob, hitting a 6.
Yeah.
Like action shot, foot in front, full
whack.
Yeah. How did you develop the skills and get to the point of capturing those amazing moments? Because when I see your photos, man, I'm like, bro, is this dude even a b-boy? Like how does he know to get that shot?
Yeah.
Or even to choose it when you're on the cutting board, so to speak.
Yeah.
That you go, yeah, I'm gonna submit that shot.
Yeah.
You're a man of many talents, so I kind of want you to say what you got to say.
I got lots of feet in many different ponds.
Yeah.
Especially in a world that you might not be kind of like directly involved. Like I used to break when I was a kid.
Right.
A little bit. I don't remember much of it.
What year? Let's go on that tangent for a second.
What year?
How old were you?
I was not old, like 11 or something.
11.
I was doing some real basic stuff, and then every now and then, like I still remember like 2 or 3 things from that time.
Yeah.
So I'll throw those out, and I'll do the worm every now and then. It's the one party trick I got.
Yeah, sick.
But it also came from like skating as well. I was really big into skate culture, but I was never particularly a good skater.
Right.
I couldn't do kickflips on boards. It took me 10 years to learn how to do an ollie. But I was always in the culture, and I always knew what people were wanting when you're doing it. So you see it like, oh, if I was a breaker, what do I want to see? Yeah. I want to see at that moment where you can tell that they're not on the floor, or they're mid-movement, or they're at that peak point of a freeze. Because the freeze, it's the pose.
Yeah.
It's all about going,
yeah, that's the snapshot.
You don't want them when they're this.
Yeah.
You want them at that when they're at the point when they're saying, hey, look at me.
Yeah, right, 100%. But like, I've fucked around with the camera.
Yeah.
Here and there. It's like, get that moment and be conscious of it.
Yeah.
Or even like it's in your subconscious muscle memory, and you just know when to snap.
Yeah. It technology helps.
Right. Right.
There is a reason why sports cameras are the most expensive cameras you can get.
Right.
It's because they shoot fast. Yeah.
So like rapid shot in the moment.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's like a buffer of that moment, and one of those, however many shots,
one of them is going to be the one.
Right.
You'll have several that are like, they're good, they're nice. If I didn't have the better shot, I could use them.
Yeah.
But I do have the better shot, because I can go. Well, my current one goes like, I think that the fastest I can go is like 20 frames a second.
Damn.
Which is it's just absolutely unheard of, and it's only recently within the past 5 or so years that's really been like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Old professional, you see the big hunkered, brick cameras that they used to have.
Yeah.
The old DSLRs, Nikon D6 and Canon 1DXs and all that kind of stuff. They're big, chunky boys, but, you know, they're still doing 12 frames, 14 frames a second.
Wow.
My old camera was like a very small version of that.
Yeah.
So it was doing 10, 11 frames a second. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
New technology, I can go double.
That is crazy.
And you just miss less.
Yeah.
And as you start to, you know, you'll see a certain b-boy walk up, and you go to enough events, you watch enough people do whatever it is they do.
Yeah.
You know the kind of stuff that they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you see someone like Tim. He tends to, he really likes doing his stuff where he kind of gets on the floor and it's kind of like falling. I don't know the names of stuff anymore.
All good.
But like, you know, I know that he's going to be on the floor, and he often is kind of rolling and bees in the air for, you know, a split second as he comes in to do another bit for windmills or whatnot. And you kind of realize, okay, they tend to do this. Or, you know, some other guy you'll see, he's like always on top rock. So you're going to kind of come low, and you know that it's going to usually stay horizontal because he's going to be going backwards and forwards. You know, his pose is going to be more of an angle.
Yeah.
So you just kind of figure, I have a preset image in my mind of roughly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to be exact, but you'll learn people, you'll learn behaviors, and you kind of map out what it is that they're likely to do. And you know when someone's coming up and then, you know, they're winding up, you know something big's going to happen, and it's usually going to be on a wider plane. So have your camera, you know, on a horizontal and kind of come back a bit, because you never know when a foot's going to fly out at some really stretched out angle, and you might cut the heel or cut the toe off or something like that.
Yeah.
It never looks as good as if you can get the entire thing in.
Yeah. Right. My brain just did that like we went from portrait to landscape, and then I was thinking, you got to pull the camera back now, because that foot's swinging right in front of the lens. It'd be nice to get that angle.
Yeah.
The foreshadowing, is that what it's called? Foreshortening. Yeah. Foreshortening. Fuck. So.
And fisheyes. Oh, be careful with a fisheye. I forget that I'm using a fisheye, and so I keep coming closer, and I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. So and I've had my camera like, I felt feet just like brush against the hoods of lenses. I'm like, just like, oh no, please don't hit my camera.
Man, and proper fisheyes cost a lot, don't they? What are we talking about? What was if you don't mind sharing, what was your one worth?
I don't actually have a fisheye currently.
Oh right, so it was on loan for that.
That was someone else's fisheye. So sorry, nothing broke. You'll never know unless I said, which I have. So my bad.
No, you're good.
Come on,
it's all for the art, yeah.
All for the art.
You got to be taking these risks, all right? Yeah. So don't be angry at him.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Exactly. Yo.
Back to the streets.
Like this. When the last time you heard it like this? JVB, the It Boys, the Misfits. Toss me the keys to the cherry red Benz. Two-seater, only you, no friends. Now to begin, the wheels are spinning in. Crisscross and I'm gone. I keep it on. Doors open, so baby girl get in. I still rock your body till dawn. Big body beamer with the 22s floating. Windows down with the whole top open. Hit the switches, let's bounce down the road. To the show, let's go.